Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Already we doing a rebrand. I thought deep into this like I should, and I know this is the right thing to do. So welcome back, but to the 5-star coach. We're no longer the bad bitch coach. However, we still bad bitches. But I just see something different for me, and I really have a lot of ideas that didn't align with the name, the bad bitch coach, but it more so aligned with the 5-star coach. We're gonna rewind it as if we back in the beginning now, okay? What's up to all my 5-star ballers out there? Welcome to a new episode of the 5-star coach. I'm Coach D, aka Venus as a boy. Here to pull the bad bitch out of my lost baddies out there. Remember, it's gotta be in you, not just on you. And I'm here to share my wisdom with y'all so I can become the 5-star bad motherfuckers y'all wanna be. Okay? The acronym still stands. I'm just not gonna repeat it, but we know what time it is. Bold, angelic, determined, brilliant, independent, tenacious, captivating, healthy. Still things I'm pouring into everybody. So, let's get started and polish up my dimes out there. And, before we start, always like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Holla at me, get in where you fit in. You feel me? Yeah. And, as always, I got my 5-star tips. You see how that sound? And then I got my 3 bonus tips. And instead of bad bitch of the week, it's now going to be 5-star of the week. And I always got my song recommendations. And this episode again will be a part 1 and part 2. So be on the lookout for part 2. But as always, let's get right into this. Tip number 1, 5-star tip number 1. Learn to be comfortable with vulnerability. I don't really want to tell that story again. Yeah, I just had a flashback. But alright, anyway. Learn to be comfortable with vulnerability. Bottling up your feelings is very dangerous. You should never be ashamed or embarrassed about how you feel. When you bottle up those feelings and you just hold on to it and hold on to it, you start displacing emotions onto other things that it should not even be there. You was upset at the person at the traffic light. You should not be upset at the person at the Burger King. You was upset at the person at the Burger King. You should not take that anger out on the person at Chick-fil-A. Like, you should place your energy where it needs to be placed at. You zapping out and just coming out of nowhere with a bunch of hostile anger for X, Y, and Z when they did nothing to you, when you should be going at A, B, and C. That's it's very ugly, and you should really understand, because your feelings are your feelings. They should be expressed. You should not be trying to cater to nobody else's feelings and putting yourself in a position where it's like, oh, my feelings don't matter that much. Like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Da 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 da. You really do care. When you know you have something to say, you don't express it, and you just write it off like, oh, I don't care. You care. You care a lot more than you think. And the people who are vulnerable are the ones who end up in a situation where they don't give a fuck, because it's like, I just said everything I needed to say. It was right here in the moment. It was fresh. And sometimes I will say, give yourself grace if you're one of those people who will literally go off the edge, go over the deep end, and go all the way crazy. Give yourself some time, but don't take those feelings for that specific situation, person, or thing out on somebody else. Place that energy right where it needs to be placed at, and then you'll be able to move on from the situation easily. Like, you don't want to be triggered and explode and lose control of yourself because you are afraid of being vulnerable. Somebody say something to you that just pokes a certain nerve, you just explode. Like, you don't want to be that person. Learn how to transmute your feelings. But in order to really fully transmute those feelings, you have to fully sit in those feelings. You got to understand, yes, I'm sad about this. I'm grieving about this. I'm angry about this. Like, really sit in those feelings. Like, being vulnerable will allow you to move through life in such a, I don't want to project because I'm very sensitive, so learning how to just accept my sensitivity allowed me to move through life in a comfortable way. But like, I know some people aren't comfortable with their feelings, but when you get to the point of just being vulnerable and to your comfort level until you are able to go deeper, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, going through life will be so much easier. You won't go through things for the extended period of time that we always typically go through when we are underdeveloped emotionally. And I feel like vulnerability is like another, like not even another, like the key way to really develop yourself emotionally. Honestly, it takes a lot of strength and courage to actually be vulnerable. Actually, I'm gonna share it. It was a situation where I was with somebody and I have like broke it off because they irritated me, but I didn't admit to myself how much I actually liked them before I did that. And I went and tried to get them back and I didn't get them back. But being a person who's very prideful, who has a really big ego, in that moment, nothing was shattered though. Because I realized, like, if you want something, go get it. Like, and even if it does not work, it's not meant for you, but at least you put out that effort to go get it. So I really respected myself. I really grew to respect myself on an emotional level differently after that situation. And then I realized, like, being vulnerable is not bad at all. Honestly, what's wrong with showing that you care? What's wrong with showing that you like somebody? What's wrong with showing that you sad? What's wrong with showing that you're feeling however you feel? You know? So yeah, kind of dragged that one a little bit, but that's tip one. 5-star tip number 2, be understanding, not a pushover. No one deserves boundless empathy. No one. I don't care who it is. When you are moving through life with no bounds, you are living a life to please others. You are living a life that is spreading you so thin, and you're going to have a lot of resentment towards all these other people, but really it's going to be towards yourself. So be understanding. Compassion is everything. However, there's levels to it, for real, basically. Just get to the point where you are listening to understand, but you're not taking on nobody's feelings. Like, be an observer, not an absorber. Like, it's gonna be situations where you're gonna be like, okay, like, this is a hard conversation to have, and something might trigger you to be like, I do feel where you're coming from. You are going through X, Y, and Z. That's not any excuse for you to just do so much and extend yourself for somebody because they're going through X, Y, and Z. We all go through stuff. So remember that. Be understanding, not a pushover. And I mean in all situations, like I said, with every relationship, family, friends, romantic relationships, business, work, it does not matter. Okay? 5-star tip number 3. You're only as beautiful externally as you are internally. Good character is essential. When they say, oh, I'm a bad bitch, like, you know, we hear songs like, I'm a bad bitch, da 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 da, whoop whoop. I feel like they just so stuck on like this. Like, yeah, being a bad bitch, the physical looks have to do with it. Don't get me wrong, because that's originally where it started at. But like, when you really go into it, like when you think of like, oh, that's a badass, like you think about like an attitude, you think about like guts, you think about like shit, even grace in certain situations. It's like the more beautiful you are inside, it's just gonna ooze into the atmosphere, into your energy. That's why I always say stay flying pretty. That's why the bad bitch acronym became what it was, because it really, for me, I had to understand, like, in order for me to really feel myself, because I always was confident in my looks, but it was just like internal things was still trickling over to the outside, and I was just not showing up as confident as I could. So I had to realize, like, I gotta make sure my spirit is beautiful, the soul, the mind, the heart, emotions, all of that has to be beautiful inside for it to come out and translate into the world. So always remember, like, the physical makeup can cover your physical blemishes. Your heart and mind can't be painted over in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be shown straight up, you know. And plus, in your energy, like, energy can be picked up easily, and energy is sensed by everybody. So always make sure this is really good, and then everything on the outside will play along. So that's number 3, right? Now, 5-star tip number 4. If the cons outweigh the pros, show them or it to the door. Don't let your energetic space be consumed by miscellaneous things. When you really make that list, like, and I mean, don't even think you're dragging it out by making this list about everybody you come across, because it's very important to only have great people in your corner. If you want to have a great, successful life, if you want to live a 5-star life, if you want to live the life of a lavish bad bitch, you have to make sure everybody in your corner is going to be a asset in your corner. Like, we don't need liabilities. We don't need nobody. You gotta, I mean, I want to keep them close, but no, literally, like, write down their name, the pros and the cons. Like, make sure nothing in your life has more cons than pros. Your job, your friends, your family, yourself, what you like about yourself, how you feel about yourself. Make sure the pros always outweighs the cons. Do not settle for nothing less other than the best. Like, it's okay if they did nothing to you, but if they are doing nothing for you, they don't need to be around you. That's the one thing I had to learn. Like, it's okay you didn't do nothing to me, but you don't do nothing for me. And nor am I begging or having my hand out. However, if you want to be in my space, why not contribute to my greatness? You know? Why not? Why wouldn't you want to celebrate me in a way that's like, I'm going to just do this for you. Like, I'm going to just look out for you with this. Like, you ain't even had to ask. You know? If you don't got that type of energy, if they don't have that type of energy with you, get that person, place, or thing out of your energetic space. The more space energetically in your life is taken up by things that are out of alignment, the things that are in alignment are going to wait. And they're going to wait and going to wait. And then when you finally get the things that are not in alignment out of your life, the things that were waiting going to make you wait. So get that stuff going quickly, quick, fast, in a hurry. Okay? All right. Well, this is part 1 of the 5-Star Coach, episode 3. Part 2 will be up soon. I guarantee it's probably up right now. As always, to my 5-star ballers, you know, stay pretty, stay fly and pretty, you know, and make sure y'all take these tips into consideration, especially the vulnerability one. Please take that one into consideration. I know it's probably tough and hard for a lot of us, but it's very necessary. But yeah, as always, subscribe, like, comment, share, and I will see y'all in part 2. Bye, y'all.